Yes, Peter, we're joined by Lee Judges, who's smiling for a change, yes.
About time that I'm smiling like, you know. So
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal, brilliant game. I know you're going to be disappointed, you boys,
Last
and all
minute,
that,
mate,
like
nightmare.
last minute goal. But I'm going to say it now, I thought we deserved it. I thought your goalkeeper made some outstanding saves. It was a good game of football, like, you know, and it could have gone either way. Listen, couple of strange decisions, you know, and a penalty. And listen, I don't know what handball is and what ain't there, because that one on Gabriel could have been given.
Thank you.
Could have been given.
Thank you.
It could have been given.
Do you think we should have one each, basically? You think
Yeah,
you had one
maybe,
first off?
listen, I don't know what handball is now. I'm going to be really honest.
I know, same.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
handball, innit?
it looked like handball to me, but then I see a Liverpool player touching the ball up there, like. But
That's Liverpool, innit?
that's not given. So, and then you see someone hit one there and it gets given. So, listen, I can see why Newcastle will be a little bit aggrieved about it. But I think on the balance of play, I thought we were superb today. That's the best we've played all season. Unfortunately, it's against you boys. You know what I mean?
I was going to say that's the best I've seen Arsenal play here for years.
Yeah. I've got to say, played really well, but we showed heart, desire, never give up, and in the end, you know, a couple of great set piece goals. The goal from Marino, by the way, the header was fantastic. And do you know what? It had to beat Pope. You know what I mean? Aaron Ramsdale's done you a favour by him coming in. It ups his game.
Thank you. I said that.
100%, because
Pick up
he's
the
now.
arse.
Well, he's been superb. He was fantastic today, like, you know. And listen, Newcastle, you know, the little bit of sparks missing with the guy up front. He was class, you know what I mean? Like, but you've still got good players there. And listen, you play like that. It was a fantastic game of football. I have to say that, like, you know.
Did you see a bit more from Newcastle than you expected? Because I was watching the FTV road trip, and to be fair, it was more Julian who was saying like we didn't have much of a threat. Robbie was mentioning Voltemada, he scored. You mentioned Isak there. No team's going to be the same without missing a world-class striker like him, unfortunately. The little rat wanted to leave. Yeah. But we've got Voltemada in, he scored.
How do you want to leave that?
He wanted to score.
Listen, you know, I look at it in that the last couple of games you haven't had Anthony Gordon either, and I think he's a big player for you.
Like. A big miss.
So, like, yeah, you haven't had that yet, like, you know. So, but when you listen, you've huffed and puffed in a game against Bournemouth. That's not an easy place to go to. You've had an unbelievable performance here against Liverpool, and listen, I don't know what it's like, the atmosphere at Newcastle. I understand I keep being told it's fantastic. When you're up in the gods, you don't hear it, like. But you can see all the flags and all that. Yeah. This is a hard place to come and play now. It has been for many a year, and that is where it's difficult. And, you know, listen, we had to match what Liverpool had done. I know Liverpool won here in different circumstances. We had to do it differently, and that'd be heartbreaking for you Newcastle boys, because they've got a last-minute winner, and we have as well, like, you know. And listen, that's what top teams do. But I never thought. I always said that Newcastle will be a problem, and they are. You know what I mean? Like the big guy up front. Once he's got great touch, by the way, and do you know what I mean? Like, he's really technically good player, and you know, I thought both centre forwards done their jobs today. Apart, I know, like, Gyökeres didn't score, but they were up against those centre halves today on both teams. They didn't give nothing away. Like, they were pulling, grabbing hold of each other and all that. Proper game of football, that, like, you know. I mean, it's a proper rivalry between Newcastle and.
It's getting there, isn't it?
It is there, like, you know
now.
what I mean. It's a taste between the players and all that. It is. And why is that? Because both teams are decent, you know what I mean. And that's how you've got to look at it, like, you know. If I'm a Newcastle fan, disappointed today, but you got something to build on there, definitely, like, you know.
Do you think Arteta can build on this for you lot? It's a big win, closes the gap at 2 points. Big season for him, isn't it?
Oh, it's massive. It's massive, and I felt we had to come here and win today. We've got a statement, especially after Liverpool have dropped points. And you have to go to these big grounds, and sometimes you have to get a result and grind the result out and be up against it. You know, listen, our backs are up it against it. We're 1-0 down. By the way, you should have made it 2 in the first couple of minutes of the second half. If that goes in. If that goes in, and that's fine margins in football, like, you know what I mean. So that goes 2-0, then it's a tough game, like, you know. Yeah. And listen, we missed chances, but that was a big moment, like, you know. And you think, right, okay. And I felt that more the game went on. I think Newcastle, he had to change it a little bit. To his credit, he did, because we was on top. There was no outlets. He changed it, you know. And it was a great. I don't know. I know you've lost. But you would have said, like, it was a great game of football. You've entertained, like, you know. And listen, every time you play here, you get entertainment. I don't care what anybody says, like, you know. It's a tough place to come, and you know, like the fans here have always been great, and I've got a little soft spot for Newcastle after meeting all the guys that, like in Singapore as well, like, you know what I mean. So
You got some big fans from the Newcastle team, haven't you?
Oh,
You were
yeah,
staying in the same
yeah,
hotel as them
yeah,
in Singapore.
So, like, you know, Kieran, like, I know you might be watching this,
He
like,
will
you
be,
know what I mean.
Trips,
So
big up trips.
he's a top guy. What, you know, absolute pleasure to meet him. Pleasure guy, like, you know, and yeah. So you know, he was great, like, you know, Johnny Rhodes, goalkeeper, fantastic. Big Dan
Robbie
Burns.
was drinking Tyndall champagne.
Yes. Jason, well, you know, I mean, what a guy! What a guy! What, you know, all I've got to say, the Newcastle players around that, and I'll say a little quick story before I went. I got all my old suntan on, like ready to go by the pool, and they said, "Oh, we're sorry, we're closing the pool for 2 hours." I said, "Well, hold on, what for?" Like, so they said, "Oh, like special event."
Newcastle got Santon.
Bloody Newcastle had the swimming pool for 2 hours, and I tell you this now, right? Every time I see Jason Tyndall or Kieran, I used to say to him, like, you know, closing the pool for 2 hours, bang, out of order. And Jason turned around and goes, I've got some bad news for you. Tomorrow morning was closed again because we're having a warm down. Like I said, it's out of order, bang, out of order, not another 2 hours. And he said, listen, if you're up in time, come and get me and I'll let you in. Like, you know what I mean? So that's just shows what absolute class. And all of the players all around the hotel were different class. But Kieran Trippier, you know, was class.
Class, mate. Let's finish off on some predictions, judges. First of all, where do you think Newcastle will finish? Roughly top 5.
Top 5. I think you're good enough. I think once you get Wizard back into the setup, you've got some class midfield players. I think maybe like I look at that. Maybe I thought you tied in the last few minutes with a few players, so you maybe need another midfield player just come in with a squad. Maybe just but top 5. Well, I hope you get Champions League anyway, like, you know, and hopefully, like, you do us a favour and make sure that fella that left you doesn't get Champions League.
Well, I hope you do us a favour, make sure that fella doesn't win the Premier League.
Yes, like
you win instead of him.
I love that, like, you know what I mean. But you know, how can you leave all these fans? Like, it's an unbelievable, you know, like you look at these fans and you look at them and you know, they're worshipped up here. I don't know. You know, look, listen, football's a funny thing, but yeah. Look, listen, and the other thing is, guys, you've got a certain League Cup tie coming up soon, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, we'll smash them, mate.
Please give them a good little seeing to. That's all I ask, like, yeah.
Legend.
No,
Cheers,
right,
judges.
yeah,
Appreciate it, mate.
Thank you very much.